Welcome to Ask the Edmonds Cop. I'm Teresa Whipple, and good morning, Sergeant Hawley.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank
Excellent.
you. I am going to revisit my experience that I had at the department a while back, where you invited me to come in and try out that police training simulator.
Yes, that was entertaining for both of us.
And especially so because I had not ever held a firearm before, so you guys had to go back to 101 and give me some tips.
Yeah, that it worked out.
It
but
did.
I think you maybe got a little eye-opening experience.
I did.
Never held a firearm.
I did.
Then
and
us putting you in life or death situations
Yes.
on a screen.
Yeah, having bad guys come at you all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But it raised a question about the fact that I think a lot of us who have not really experienced that kind of thing before wonder about whether having a gun at home is a good idea, for a variety of reasons.
Sure.
And thought it would be good to explore from your perspective, since you deal with both bad guys and good guys who have guns. What are some of the things people should be thinking about?
So I'll answer questions about this a lot. People call in, or someone becomes a crime victim for the first time, and then they start thinking, okay, do I need to arm myself? It just kind of starts this line of thinking.
Yeah.
So my first response is with two questions. And the first thing is, well, why are you thinking about purchasing a gun? And there's a variety of reasons. If it's target shooting, maybe you just want to get into shooting as a sport. And a lot of people do.
Yeah.
It's actually a large number of people that purchase firearms do it for target shooting reasons. Mm-hmm. The other is hunting.
Right.
A lot of that availability just where we live. You can do that up here. And then the other two would be home defense or concealed carry, self-defense. They're both basically the same thing, but one at home and the other out and about.
Right.
And if you answered yes to the last two, then that poses a real question. And that is, are you prepared to actually use the gun against another person if that's what you're buying it for?
Yeah.
And that's something that you have to answer, and it's a mental thing. Are you willing to pull the trigger if someone else is on the other end of the line? If your life is in danger, we get that, but are you actually able to do that?
Right.
Because that's something you have to answer, because that's not easy.
No, I'm sure it's not.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not. And, the truth is that if you maybe aren't ready, then it could end up being a bad situation for you if somebody does end up coming into your home and you have a gun, right?
Yeah, you've now introduced a gun into the situation, and it happens. People end up with whatever the weapon is, and it ends up being turned against them because they froze. They just really weren't prepared or able to actually use it when the situation came up for them to do so.
Okay.
So and it becomes as big a liability as not having it, probably bigger.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good. And that brings us to kind of the question of, if you do make that decision, what you need to know in terms of training and the licenses that are required and all of that. And we are going to discuss that in another segment. We're going to tease people and make them come back and watch part 2.
Great.
So
now I feel like I'm part of the media.
Yes, you are.
In our next segment. Come back next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and please do. And we will talk in the next one about those issues. And thanks for joining us. We'll be back again soon.